Coming together tonight. My name is Chris Sanders with the Tennessee Equality Project, and we have come here to honor and mourn the victims of the worst mass shooting in modern American history. Our brothers and sisters in Orlando who were out celebrating the joy of being who they are in a place where they felt safe. We opened tonight with song, and we are so grateful to Nashville in Harmony because they are able to speak the language of our hearts when our usual words fail. We are grateful for the presence of Metro Nashville Police Department, who remind us of the heroic job that first responders did in saving lives in Orlando early this morning. And to drive home that point, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant David Levitt for a few words before I continue.
Good evening. It's been a long day, but on behalf of Chief Anderson, I want to assure all of you that we are supporting not only the Nashville community, but my community, the gay community. And I want to extend all of my support, as well as the police department support, to the victims, the families, and all of you and all of us across the country who've had to witness this terrible tragedy. This could have been us, folks. This could have been Nashville. Hate has no borders. Hate has no barriers. We are experiencing today the worst mass shooting in history, and unfortunately it was directed at our community. Sadly, or ironically, just a few days ago, Chief Anderson and I were discussing the Pride Festival, and he was telling me to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure that Pride is safe, that the Equality Walk is safe, and everything goes off without a hitch. That's the kind of police chief you have in Nashville. So, thank you all. Love you all.
I want to thank a few more folks who worked so hard to organize this event. Eric Patton, Jenny Ford, Claudia Husky, Sean Brastead, H.G. Stovall, and all the volunteers that they assembled. Play provided the water that you're drinking tonight. And Brian Sullivan and Addiction Campuses provided the candles, many of the candles that you're using tonight. Pride provided the beautiful pins that so many of you are wearing, so let's give them a round of applause for all their work. I'm used to speaking in public, but I have to admit that words fail me tonight. I was asked, can any good come from this? All I know is that I cannot bring myself to say we must die for our freedom and safety. I cannot bring myself to say that it's some necessary step that we lose one precious life to prove a point, to make people see the truth of our lives. I look at this crowd and I see so many people I know and love, and I am not willing to lose one of you for any reason to prove any point to anyone. And yet I feel very weak because I don't feel like I can tell you how to mourn and move forward either. But I can urge you to seek help if this tragedy overwhelms you. Please contact the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network if you need help. Open up, share your feelings, talk to those around you, and if you're someone who is strong enough, lovingly help others get through this tragedy. And when we are strong enough, I know we will all recommit ourselves to work for the full legal and lived equality of all LGBT people in this country. We will not let death, hate, destruction, discriminatory legislation in the Tennessee General Assembly have the final word. We will resist violence with truth and love, and we will do so with the help of our allies. And one of our greatest allies in Tennessee is the mayor of Nashville. I am so grateful she could be here tonight. I am pleased to introduce the Honorable Megan Barry.
Good evening, and I say that with such pain in my heart because I know that all of us had other plans for this evening. And the fact that we are all here gathered tonight because of this tragedy breaks my heart. But I'm so grateful to all of you for being here. One act of evil terrorism has cut short 50 lives in Orlando, and it's changed countless others. When I woke up this morning and I saw the news, I learned yet again how much harm a well-armed individual can do when they have a twisted mind. And no matter how often it happens, it never fails to shock me. I am not immune to this, and I'm sick and I'm tired of seeing it happen. It's a tragedy, but it's a tragedy that keeps happening. And I know, I look behind me and I see the courthouse and I see the flags at half-mast because our president has said, enough. We need to stop this. But the one thing that I don't lose is my resolve. And as a community, we can't lose our resolve either. Because make no mistake about this, this was an attack on the LGBT community. It was also an attack on Americans. And we have to stand together to fight this kind of thinking that has brought us to this point. We can never forget the one thing that has always sustained us. And the sisters in front of me know this the best. It's love. We have to respond to this unspeakable act of evil with an overwhelming show of the strongest, most transformative force that we know, and that is love. Only love can see you through times like this, and we have to show that immediately and constantly how much we love our neighbors and the people every day who make up our community. There are people everywhere in this world who wake up in fear that they will be killed simply for loving the person that they love. And no one should ever have to live in fear. And as I look at this crowd tonight, I see the best of Nashville. I see a warm and welcoming community that is filled with loving people who look out for one another, who support one another. I see so much love at this gathering. And I urge you to take that back with you when you go back to your homes and your neighborhoods tonight. Take it with you to your workplace tomorrow. Take it with you to your house of worship. Please show your love everywhere you go. Because I know that fear that I spoke of earlier is very real and it's very powerful. So I want you to know that our Metro Police are communicating with their counterparts in Orlando and with the federal government, and our officers led by Chief Anderson and his excellent command staff will do everything that they need to do to protect us here in Nashville. So thank you, Chief Anderson, for everything that you do, and thank you once again to our police who keep us safe. I also want to acknowledge all of the other elected officials who are with us today, and I'd like them to come and stand with me. Council members, we have many. But first, let me introduce Vice Mayor David Briley. We have Councilmember Brett Withers, Councilmember Nancy Van Rees, Councilmember Bob Mendez, Councilmember Jeremy Elrod, Councilmember Mina Johnson, Councilmember Russ Pulley, Councilmember Colby Sledge, Councilmember Fabian Bednay, Councilmember Freddie O'Connell, Councilmember Karen Johnson, Councilmember Sharon Hurt, Councilmember Berkeley Allen. Let me get all the council members. Councilmember Kevin Roten. And we also have Senator Steve Dickerson here. We have Senator Jeff Yarborough here. We have Goodlettsville Commissioner Zach Young here. We have School Board Member Will Pinkston here. And we have School Board Chair Sharon Gentry here. We have former electeds. Gary Moore, former councilman and former state rep, is also here. We also have the FOP president, Danny Hale, Sergeant Danny Hale. And those who could not attend but also wanted me to let you know that they are with us tonight are Councilmember Mike Freeman is with us, and he has donated half of his council salary to the TEP. State Representative Harold Love also sends his regrets that he could not be here tonight. We also have Clerk Howard Gentry with us as well. I think this shows you how deeply your elected officials care about you and Nashville. So once again, please thank them. I also want to thank the leaders in the Muslim community who are just as outraged at this act of terrorism and stand in solidarity and love with the victims of Orlando. And we have many of those members here with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you to TEP, the Tennessee Equality Project, for organizing this vigil so quickly, for working with my office, who is amazing, I have to tell you, who got up today and made this happen. And also for everyone in this place does, where we advocate every day for the rights of our lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered brothers and sisters. Every day. You know, Harvey Milk, who is an openly gay San Francisco supervisor, which is the equivalent to the council members I have behind me, had something pretty powerful to say, and I want to leave you with that. Tonight, I want to quote something he said right before he was shot and killed back in 1978. 1978, things haven't changed much. It's short, it's sweet, it's 5 words, but I think it's a powerful message for us. Harvey Milk said, "Hope will never be silent. Don't you be silent either. Speak out. Speak out for hope. Speak out for love. Tell someone that you love how much you love them. Please do that." And now I'd like to introduce Sulfat Sawara, the chair of the American Muslim Advisory Council, who is now going to join us.
Hello, everyone. I've asked some of the members of the Muslim community to stand with me tonight. We all stand with you this evening with a very heavy heart, as another senseless act of violence is committed against another part of our community, our LGBTQ community. I will get it right because I don't say it enough, but I am standing with the community. LGBT community. As a Muslim, I am taught not to only value life, but that all life is sacred. So tonight, we pray for the victims, their families, and all their loved ones. We also pray for the first responders who risked their lives to stop the killer and saving so many. We cannot ignore that this evil attack was perpetrated by a person with a Muslim name. And all more so, it was done during Ramadan, a month which is supposed to be about devotion, reflection, and God consciousness. Let me state as clearly as possible that it is not only wrong, but is also un-American to attack others for their identity, their sexual orientation, race, or religion. And in the true spirit of Ramadan, I call on all of us to renew our sense of urgency not to allow mass murderers, terrorists, or the voices of hatred to turn Americans against one another. I also implore all of you not to take the action of one against the entire community as well. As Americans, I implore all of us together to stand together and to honor the victims of hate by responding with compassionate and with love. Thank you.
What wonderful speakers, and so hard to follow, but please help me welcome Nashville in Harmony back to the stage.